You put on an African accent talking to actual Africans, dog. He said, we have to stay in practice. We have to stay. Yes, talking to me, asshole. What the
Who
fuck is
speak
you doing?
perfect English.
Welcome back to Nanodosing. Almost said Macrodosing. It's Nanodosing. It's Tuesday. It's March 5th. This is March. We're balls deep in March right now. No, just the tip. We've just put the tip in March.
Not that deep. We're not that deep into March. It just happened.
We're just the tip in there, seeing how it feels. So far, it feels pretty good. And today's episode is brought to you by the Rent app. That's right. Today, we've got something truly special for all the renters and landlords out there. Paying rent is something we all have to do. Let's be honest, it can sometimes be a bit of a hassle. What if there was a way to make it all easier, more straightforward, and even beneficial for your financial future? Well, introducing the Rent app, the ultimate tool for renters everywhere. Rent app takes the hassle out of paying rent by depositing your payments directly into your landlord's bank account. No more trips to the ATM. No more mailing checks. No more managing balances in multiple apps. Just simple, direct transactions that make life easier for both you and your landlord. There are no fees and no weekly limits. That's right, the Rent app is completely free for you to use. No need for your landlord to create an account. It's completely free for them too. Rent app is also about helping you build a brighter financial future. By optionally reporting your on-time rent payments to the 3 major credit bureaus, Rent app brings you one step closer to homeownership, and it helps boost your credit score. So why wait? Go over to the App Store, download the Rent app today, and follow Rent app at Rent app on Instagram and Twitter. For our listeners, we've got an exclusive deal. Go to rent.app/barstool. Get $50 cash back on your first rent payment. How about that? If you're a landlord, go to rent.app/landlord to get paid on time and without hassle. But if you're a renter, if you go to rent.app/barstool, you can get $50 cash back on your first rent payment. All right, we're back. I'm back in studio. We got Big T here in studio, Mad Dog McKenzie in the booth, Billy in an undisclosed location somewhere, as he usually is, and then Arian, you're back as well. It's good to be back in the fold with you guys.
I'm back. You're back.
Yeah, I'm back. You've been here. Yeah. You didn't go anywhere.
Yeah.
But we always go through this the same time of year where I hit the road for a couple weeks. I have to miss a bunch of shows, but we're back. I'm very sorry that I could not be here for last Thursday's episode. Billy in studio doing the puzzle. Billy almost quit the show on Wednesday morning because he felt like he was being unfairly targeted by having to do a puzzle on the show. But Billy, I'm glad that you didn't quit.
No, it was that I only had to do the puzzle and couldn't participate in the show.
Well,
I was down to do the puzzle, and I was doing the puzzle.
That was your participation, was doing the puzzle. So I did not listen to Thursday's show, so I heard Billy almost had a breakdown while he was doing it. Is that true?
A little bit, yeah.
Billy?
Look, dude, I mean, stuff happens.
Onward
and upward.
Onward and upward. So what did we talk about last time? Because I haven't listened to the show yet. I'm told that we talked about the Combine a little bit.
A little bit, yeah. Not much though. That's when we started going off the rails with Billy's issues. But
yeah, my only rule is that during the Combine discussion, Billy was not allowed to talk.
Well, we didn't really talk about the Combine.
Well, he kept interjecting anyway. It didn't matter. He didn't listen to the rules.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a rule follower. You know, he's an innovator. He's a go-getter.
He's a disruptor.
Yeah. But I mean, so we can double back if you want to, though.
Okay, yeah, Billy, you're not allowed to talk during this segment.
Sweet.
All right, so you really beat him in the 40?
Yeah, so we did the Combine here at Barstool Sports, and Billy was so amped up. I think he had 4 or 5 energy drinks in addition to the beta-alanine, and he was so amped up, he started warming up like 3 hours before he had to compete. And so Billy's time in the 35-yard dash, because we only have 35 yards of track space here, Billy's time, I believe, was a 3.81, and I believe mine was a 3.80 in the 35-yard dash, which I thought was really interesting because Billy's a great athlete, or at least I thought he was a great athlete. And then he did dust me pretty bad in the 3-cone drill. I'll give him that. And then I beat the fuck out of him in the high jump in the vertical leap challenge. So Billy did make the finals, and I will say this about the final round. It was the Wonderlick where they asked us about a bunch of trivia questions about random shit, honestly. And Billy kind of got hosed in that portion where he beat everybody in the room, but we needed a final round of 5 people to compete. So we're just like, we have to keep going until we get down to our final 5, as opposed to Billy just being the last man standing. So Billy had to then compete in the finals, which he ended up losing. But yeah, credit to Billy. He had a strong showing, at least in that round of the Combine. And, you know, he only lost by 0.01 seconds of the 40 to the eventual champion of the Combine. So nothing to hang your head about at all, Billy.
So he got hosed. So like, but like y'all robbed him out of $5,000. That's what I understood, right? So like, yeah, he got because y'all wanted to do whatever, but y'all robbed him.
So the format of the finals was clearly stated before we started to record, which was there will be 10 people competing, and then we're going to narrow it down to the final 5, and then the final 5 will have a dedicated round where it's all 5 of them competing together at once. So we had to find out who the final 5 were, and we didn't know in that format. It was kind of a screw job, which is why I gave Billy $500. I told Big Cat, because Big Cat put up $5,000. I said, you can keep your money, Big Cat. Feels weird accepting cash from you, so let's just give $500 to Marty Mush, because he kind of got screwed out of the $5,000 in the finals too, and then we'll give $500 to Billy. So tried to make amends best I could there.
Okay, well, at least you were honest about it. That's all I was looking for, was honesty.
Yeah, Marty got hosed in the finals because the competition was name as many different Barstool brands and shows that you can. And so he named a show called Fraud and Order that he used to do. And I was on an episode of Fraud and Order, and they said that it didn't count because it wasn't like in the back end of the Barstool website. So they told Marty that his show that he did was not a real show. And so he kind of got screwed out of that too.
That's why. And you was on it?
I was on it. I had to admit, I was on an episode. It was a real thing. But yeah, it was an interesting day here at Barstool. Billy had a couple rough events, some rough times, but my favorite part by far was the vertical leap challenge where Billy was just getting so mad at the person that was setting it up, and then he went up there and he raised his arm above his head because you have to measure like where your hand reaches to, and Billy was just saying that his shoulder was hurt so bad that he couldn't lift his arm up at all, and so people had to go over and like lift Billy's arm up, and he was like, "Ow, ow, this really hurts. I'm gonna die." And then on his first jump, he leaped into the air and he smacked the pole so hard with his hand that he knocked the pole over. And then
he hit the wrong side of it. I was like, "Yo, what's up with you, fam? Like, why would you?"
And then
he's just always extra aggressive over everything he do.
And then he blamed the dude that was setting it up for not catching the pole as it got knocked over. Yeah, Francis. So it was a banner day for Billy for sure. Not a banner. I guess a banner would be when you win. It was an outstanding day for Billy content.
That's usually the case when you got a camera on him.
That's true. All right, so that was our Combine recap. Billy, great job. Great job not interjecting during that conversation.
He put the microphone way to his right, like just so not to be tempted.
I was.
And Last Chance Uganda came out. I think the video is doing really well right now.
Hey,
go watch it.
I saw a clip today, man. What is wrong with you, dog?
Which part?
What is wrong with you?
I was hoping we would get to this.
Okay. First of all, you talking so Donnie say I'm going it's gonna be good cop, bad cop, right? Because they wanted him to stay for practice for a little longer. So Billy goes and first you put on an accent while you talking.
Okay, no,
it was
African
crazy.
Accent.
No, let me explain. Can I explain?
Accent. Let me finish my qualm. You put on an African accent talking to actual Africans, dog. He said, "We have to stay and practice." Talking to me, asshole. What the
Who
fuck
speak perfect English.
And then right after that, humiliating thing. He goes and says he wants to name a goal line package and says, "Oh, I want to name something like really scary and strong. Like give me something scary and strong." And he says, Coney. Like, bro.
All right.
Like, what's wrong with you, dog? Like that's come on, fam.
I'm going to play the clip right now. All right.
It's wild.
So here we go.
Good coach, bad coach. He's the bad coach, I'm the good coach. Because I'm going to be like, yeah, if you guys want to go home, it's fine. He's going to be like, no, we're staying until the sun goes down.
We're practicing till the sun goes down. Sorry. I'm sorry. It's fine. Because this is our last practice, correct? So we're practicing till the sun goes down. I'm sorry, guys. But we need to beat Kenya. We're not going to beat Kenya by quitting at 2 o'clock. We got to practice until we've done everything we can.
And there was still plenty to work on, such as goal line D.
This is a defense where you let your nuts hang. What's a good name? What is like something scary and strong? I'm going to call it Coney? No, Cody?
No,
Cody?
Look,
That wasn't even the worst of the accent either.
no.
Donnie
Can we?
was like, no. Don't.
No. So one,
We need to be
it's
Kenya.
not like goal line plays have historically been called
Bruh.
problematic, threatening things.
Just say, yeah, I probably shouldn't have said that, dogs.
No, Coney. The
That
thing was,
wild.
the team is named after. It's called the Generals, and like that, their idea of a general is like Coney is a general. Like the idea of Coney is, they're like no, but they like Coney's a boogeyman in Uganda. I was trying to use terminology that is familiar to them. So
Literally not a boogeyman.
he's a real no, but like for example, in Ugandan politics, they'll call each other Coney, because meaning that they're a corrupt rebel. Meaning,
But that's like a direct reference to a corrupt, murderous rebel. Like a
Yeah.
direct. So it's not a boogeyman. Like it.
no,
that
but
happened.
but like they call each other. It's like, but it's anyway. It didn't work out. We changed the name to AK-47, which we thought was better. But the accent, I have to admit. So have you ever heard like a Liverpudlian or like a Scouser speak to you, or an Irish person, and they're speaking so fast in their dialect and their language, and you're trying to pick up what they're saying, but it's so smooth to them and commands and whatnot, and you're just like, what? You're like, stop for a second, like you're trying to understand what they're saying, because they're speaking in a dialect and a cadence that's so foreign to you that you're not able to pick up the nuances of what they're saying, and some of the terms they use aren't familiar to you.
Yeah,
Right?
I get it. I understand. Like sometimes you get caught up in the accent, or
No,
like
but
you
I'm
go
not-
over to
I wasn't-
Australia for a couple weeks and then you come back and you call people mate.
No, but that's not it. Like a lot of the players, there's so many different dialects in Uganda, right? And English is one of the main languages of the country, but also is Swahili. And then there's native Ugandan, which not all of them speak. So you had a lot of differing English levels amongst the team. Like we spoke to a lot of very well-spoken Ugandan guys in the video, but some were, some of our best players couldn't really express themselves or understand English as fast as the others. So sometimes we'd have translation through a proxy. And so what was working was sort of speaking in a slow cadence and using terminology and pronunciation like they do. So for example, I was saying Kenya, and they say Kenya. So I'd be like, we need to beat Kenya. And they're like, who? Like you had to pronounce stuff like they pronounce stuff, or there'd be a lot of questions. So we picked it up quickly. Also, we had to install an offense and a defense in 2 days of practice officially. So what ended up happening is we did 2 days of practice. The second day of practice, we went as long as we could. And then I bought a third day of practice from the field so we could get more work in, because we needed the work. But the Coney comment was
real quick with the accent. It's really no different from Brian Kelly going down to LSU and getting on the microphone and being like, my family.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so Billy was trying to express himself in a way that was easily digestible for him.
After hearing the explanation, it does that. I can't say that it's insane. Like that does make sense, because if they're used to hearing English in a certain way, the dialect, I guess, would matter. That does make sense. It's still fucking wild, though.
It's like, I don't know, like
We need to beat Kenya.
I work on a couple construction sites, right? And when you're speaking with a lot of the Spanish guys, you use the term amigo, and it's like one of those things that it's.
But do you speak
Wait,
English?
so you do this all the time?
It works.
Do you speak
well, that
English
would
with
be an
a
ass-
Spanish accent when you're on a construction site?
Now I need footage of that.
No, it's Spanglish. It's Spanglish, and it happens all across America.
I know the
think.
word. I know what you're saying about like the words, but do you affect a Spanish accent when you're speaking English?
More Spanish with American accent. Yeah.
Yeah, we need more footage. I agree, Big T.
But yeah, it was an amazing experience, and like a lot of stuff like, you know, watching those videos is insane because you're just remembering all the stuff, like not having any playbook, not knowing what the Kenyans were running and trying to put together a defense, and getting over the language barrier with different individuals. And, you know, it's from the outside, it's going to look nuts, but there's method to the madness. Like one thing that we did with the playbook, and Donnie puts a ton of our play terminology in there, is that instead of we used places in Uganda as play names so that it was easier for them to remember. So, you know, the airport was Entebbe was, hopefully no Kenyans are listening, but Entebbe was like a Hail Mary. It was 4 verts. So because it was the airport, air raid, 4 verts, you know, and like we use so much American states in all our playbooks. Like we were just put into doing the same thing into the Ugandan playbook. And yes, Coney was a bad choice. I admit. Yeah.
Wow.
But like, you know, looking back, the Blitz is a bad choice for a play name too.
Yeah, but did the Blitz exist before the Blitzkrieg style of warfare?
I don't think so.
It didn't exist back in like the 20s and 30s?
No, I think it was named after World War II.
I mean, that's a fair point.
Yeah, it is actually.
So
that's why to stop.
I was trying to figure out a good name for the Blitz that is like in Ugandan culture that they understand.
After hearing your explanation, it does soften the blow, but out of context, that's a tough clip to have.
I know.
On your resume, but I mean, yeah, the internet ain't gonna let you have nuance. That shit wild. But after hearing your explanation, it does make a little more sense. Don't know if I would have went for the Coney thing, but
the Coney thing is ridiculous.
It makes it a little bit more. I understand your train of thought though. It was well intentioned.
Yeah. But the thing is also, they think inappropriate jokes are hilarious. Like we were all having fun.
There's locker room culture.
Yeah.
Just grab her however you want.
Like locker room talk.
They loved it. We were having a great time.
Yeah.
But the making the practice till the sunset was more just like the field was, we had 2 more hours on the field, and if anyone had to leave, they could leave, and then we were just sending stuff into WhatsApp like to help everyone prep. But it was a good time. But episode 2 comes out Wednesday, probably 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 Central. And that practice number 2 is fun with a lot more drama. It's not what just it seems. There was a lot of drama over there, and I'm just recounting with Donnie what for episode 2 is going to be, and it's wild. So check it out.
I mean, it's been great content so far. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing more of it.
Me as well. Also, I just got a call today. They want me to come back in July.
You should do it.
Mackenzie is my witness. I was on a group call. I'm talking with them. There's apparently there's a team in Macon, Georgia that is talking to my players, and not my players, but like guys I coached, and they're asking me about contracts, and like they're getting sent these BS contracts. Like, oh, once you get to America, we'll get you a job. And I'm like, they're getting scammed. And I'm just, trying to make like holding calls with them to like advise them on like, you should try to go to college if you're going to try to come to the US, because they have much better accommodations than playing for some of these semi-pro teams that are like, they think they can, like, we don't have a farm system or like a AAA system for football like soccer teams do. And that's the only thing they can compare it to. So they're like, oh, this is a small semi-pro team in a lower division league than the NFL. Like, this will help me get recognized. And I'm like, well, no, we should probably look at college programs with, who can get you a student visa so you can come play and you'll get housing and you won't have to worry about certain things instead of signing up for the Macon Crimson there's the Crimson Attack semi-pro team that has sent them a contract that doesn't promise any compensation or, any way of helping them get a green card and like a promise of a side job, which, I mean, we got to figure that out. And if you're part of that team, please come out and contact me because we could figure something out, but you got to offer more than just a promise of a job upon arrival, no plane tickets, no ability to help these guys get green cards or, help them achieve their dreams. So we can talk about that.
Yeah, we had the same thing when I played Texas rugby down in Austin. There would be people that would come over from Australia or New Zealand that wanted, but it was kind of like understood that you didn't have like a future in professional rugby in the United States necessarily. It was more like you come over if you're battling it out in the minor leagues in Australia or New Zealand and you don't see a path forward, come to the United States and just like have a fucking awesome time for like 2 or 3 years and just kind of like travel around, see the country and play some rugby occasionally, where it's like kind of like you have to be more straightforward than just being like, oh yeah, we can totally get you a job. Because a lot of times people come over and they're like, well, they're not hiring right now, so we'll just have to wait it out.
Yeah, and then they end up getting, in some messed up situation. Whereas if we had like, my plan is like, we have 2 guys who could actually play D3 or, some level of ball here. And one of them is he's gotten medical training in Uganda, but doesn't technically translate to a doctor. So he could possibly get a bachelor's degree and then apply for, to become a doctor in the United States. And then he says he wants to come back to Uganda, and we're working on stuff. It's honestly, it's very rewarding. It's some of the most rewarding stuff I feel like I've done. So that's what I'm trying to do right now.
Well, shout out to Uganda Generals. I can't wait to watch more of it. It's good content. Check it out if you haven't already. We need to beat Kenya.
Wow.
We must beat Kenya. So Donnie gave me those glasses. I didn't know they were the same glasses from Blood Diamond.
Oh, okay. Well, I didn't know that either until you just said it. So I'm glad you brought it up.
They aren't exactly the same, but Donnie had a pair of glasses and I was like, yo, my eyes are dying in the sun. Can I get a pair of those glasses? And he was like, yeah, here.
Have you changed your thought about sunscreen?
The African sun is different. It's different. It doesn't fuck around.
Yeah, you guys remember the ozone layer? You remember when we had the big like controversy and like the world's going to blow up because there's this ozone layer?
I don't think they were too young for that.
The hole in the ozone was a big issue in the 90s, and
that was our climate change.
That was our climate change. But when people always bring it up like, oh, you always have this climate hysteria. Remember the hole in the ozone layer back in the 90s? Everything worked its way out. Was because we actually like did a shitload of legislation to ban the chemical that's released into the atmosphere that was creating the ozone layer, and then it healed itself.
Yep.
Big T.
Not be doing for climate change.
Yeah. The Tennessee Minute. I probably know what you're going to talk about, and I'd like to say I agree with you. The Tennessee Volunteers are going to win the national championship.
They're different.
They are different.
They're different. These guys are different.
2 big come from behind wins. Now you got some hard road ahead of you, though. Ending out conference play against probably the 2 other best teams.
Yeah, these last 4 games are insane. I think they tried to – the SEC was like, okay, so you have Auburn, then at Alabama and Kentucky, but we'll throw you South Carolina in the middle so that's not – and then South Carolina ends up being in the race for the SEC title.
Yeah.
So it turns out to be a crazy – if we win these last 4 games, though, we've got to be a 1 seed.
I would think so, yeah.
Got to be a 1 seed if we win these last.
What if you get bounced in your first game in the tournament, in the SEC tournament?
I think you would probably need to win on Friday, but also like those games don't matter. We won it in 2022, and Lenardi was like, "Yeah, those games like don't matter at all." So yeah. I'm sure when we're in position for it to be the other way, they'll matter. But yeah, they're fucking awesome.
When's the next game? I have yet to watch them.
Wednesday at South Carolina, and if we win, we clinch at least a share of the SEC title. If South Carolina wins, then they're tied with us for first. huge. And then Saturday we play Kentucky at home. If we win the last 2 games, we win the SEC outright. If we win one of them, we'll share it with either South Carolina or Alabama.
I'm in.
Can't lose South Carolina twice. Can't happen.
Can't do it. Can't do it. But I expect you to win those games.
I do as well.
Tennessee can score like 110 points. Or excuse me, Kentucky can score 110 points.
They also give up 95 every single game.
So it's going to be an awesome game.
Yeah.
Where are we at with Dalton Knecht and his defense? Is he being asked to play defense at all?
I think they are okay with the level of defense he plays, understanding that he's going to give up. Teams are going to score probably 8 to 10 more points against you than they would otherwise with him on the floor, but he's going to give you 30. So you take that trade every time.
Every time. Yep. They're a fun team.
You really can't play D?
No.
Well, his whole thing about going to Tennessee was like, I want to learn.
No, he can't.
He wanted to learn, but I don't think that they've really asked him to.
And they're not going to ask you to in the NBA either.
Yeah.
So it's fine.
It's a valid
But
point.
yeah, he cannot. But he scores 30 a game, so it's fine.
The other Tennessee question I had for you, Big T, how high can Joe Milton's draft stock get? Is there going to be a team that takes him way too high?
I thought so for a long time. After the Senior Bowl, I don't think so anymore.
He didn't have a good showing there?
Horrible. In the game. I don't know about practice. Maybe teams really love the way he practiced. I don't know. I don't know why he didn't run at the Combine. I think that would have helped him tremendously. But he did, he flicked the ball 80 yards and everybody's like, oh, I saw a lot of people this weekend who are in phase 1 of the Joe Milton experience. Mm-hmm. And that's a wonderful place to be. Mm-hmm. That's an awesome place to be. I loved phase 1. Call me back in November and we'll talk about it. But
thing about Buddy is, and why he'll get a shot in the league, is because his arm strength is uncanny. Like,
it's crazy.
He's not gonna beat anybody. He has the best arm strength I've ever seen, actually. And any NFL coach, GM will salivate at the opportunity to groom. You know what I'm saying? To let me take him under my wing, and I can coach the shit out of him, and I can get him to put touch. I can get him. You know what I'm saying? By that metric alone, he's going to have a job for 20 years.
You know what's crazy though? A guy like that will be given the opportunity to get that grooming, get that coaching, get that opportunity to learn and sit. But then some guys who are very, very good quarterbacks will get thrown right into the fire and just crash and burn.
Is this a Zach Wilson versus Patrick Mahomes take that you have right now, Billy?
No, maybe. Yes. I mean, I'm just saying that couple years that Patrick spent behind Alex Smith really helped him. I mean, we see what he is now with certain amount of arm talent, certain amount of multi-slot throwing, and you have another guy with very similar talent who's thrown right into the fray.
Similar talent? What are you saying?
Similar arm talent.
No.
Coming out of college.
No.
Similar hard throwingness.
Similar.
They played a similar position.
There's a similar style. One is way, way better and way, way more effective, and one is absolute dog shit and is throwing 1,000 interceptions. But the difference could have been that 1 year sitting.
Big T, what would happen?
Go ahead.
I was just going to ask you, what would happen if Joe Milton became the next Patrick Mahomes? Let's just say that
that'd be awesome.
There's a coach out there that is like, I can work with this guy, and then he molds him like a lump of clay, and he turns into like the best passer of all time.
I hope that happens.
Would you secretly though be like, well, where the fuck did this come from?
Listen,
like, would you feel like you had FOMO from when you played at Tennessee? Like, he didn't do any of that.
I mean, he did at points, which is why he was frustrating. Like, the first half against Alabama, he was unbelievable.
He was, yeah.
Like, unreal. The first, I think it was the first touchdown he had, like, in the corner of the end zone, couldn't have walked it over to the guy better. I forget who caught it. And then, like, he had times where you can look up a interception he had against Florida where it looked like on TV, it looked like a punt. Like, there was no receiver over there. Like, that's why he's frustrating. He has the talent to be incredible. And I hope he becomes that. It was just funny seeing people maybe seeing Joe Milton for the first time being like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah.
And I've been there.
Except phase 1 of the Joe
Yeah.
Milton.
Phase 1 is a good place to be.
Walk us through it. What are the other phases?
Phase 2 is first game of the season, warming up like, holy shit, this guy's unbelievable. Phase 3 is the first couple games, like, okay, plodding along, he's doing fine. And then phase 4 is Florida, where it all falls apart. But then phase 5, you start to see a little, okay, we lost a game, but now he's coming back, he's playing really well. And then you wait on phase 6, and it just never quite gets there.
It doesn't get to phase 6.
Yeah.
Phase 6.
If you can unlock phase 6, you'll have a good quarterback.
Phase 6 is learning from your mistakes.
Yes.
And adopting from them.
Yeah. Phase 6 is the halftime adjustments.
Okay.
And we never really got to phase 6, but if an NFL team can unlock phase 6, I think that's the key.
If phase 6 happens, then Patrick Mahomes.
Could be.
Yeah.
The thing is, it's his off-platform throwing ability. If he sort of loosens up in that regard and is able to make those important dink and dunk passes that set up the long ball, I think that's like secures his success in the future.
Phase 6.
You gotta learn touch, man.
There's definitely a scenario where he becomes a good NFL quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it's more likely than not, but it exists.
I want that too for him because he seems like a good dude.
Yeah, he's
Cats
awesome.
like that. Yeah, he's a good dude. Cats like that who have potential. The NFL loves potential more than they love talent. I promise you, bro. Shit is wild. A dude that has potential will always have a job. Will always have a job, especially at quarterback. And so he's always going to have that, man, I can. And coaches are always going to take a chance on that, whether it be a backup or a starter role. He's always going to have a shot.
It's kind of funny too, because if a player has potential and a coach like takes him under his wing and they never actually reach that potential, then the coach is 100% getting fired, right? Whereas
It depends on the position, but yeah, if it's quarterback, then yeah.
Yeah, then they're like, oh, I can work with this guy. He's got potential. And then 2 years later, they're like, well, you didn't find this guy's potential, so you're fired. Whereas if you take like a safer guy, then people will be like, oh, well, he's a safe pick. And the expectations aren't as high for a guy that's already pretty solid than they are for a guy who stinks but will wow you with something.
I'll tell you a Tennessee player who murdered the combine. Did you see Jalen Wright?
No, I
running
didn't
back?
see that.
So he ran a 4.38 40. His broad jump. Arian, what was your broad jump?
I can tell you, brother. None of my numbers count, bro. I was hurt.
That's okay. Well, his was
He's having this conversation.
His was 11.2, which I'm told is like unbelievable.
That's out of there.
Yeah.
That's out of there.
And he
I
weighs
don't think
like,
I think my best was maybe around 10.8, something like that.
and he's not a small dude. I forget how much he weighs, but over 200 pounds.
Mine,
and so there were a
was
lot
9/11.
never forget.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of people online being like, Jalen Wright made himself a lot of money at the combine.
Let's see. Arian Foster pro day scores broad jump 115 inches. What's that?
So 10 feet would be 120. So under 10. You said 10.8.
So
I
9.2.
tell you, I was
That's
hurt.
9.7.
I also ran a 4.7, fam. I just was hurt.
That's what the record books say. I don't know.
Yeah, let's see. Combine 4.68, pro day 4.69.
Y'all are like a bad ex, bro. Y'all just stay bringing up my past. Bring up my good shit. How about that?
Yeah, exactly.
Bring up my
I feel
good
that.
shit.
Okay,
Hold
all
on,
right.
Hold on, Billy. Hold on. don't jump on this train, bro.
Oh yeah, let's go.
Here we go. Bench press. You did 23 reps at 225 pounds. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, because it has nothing to do with my leg, which was injured.
Billy at the combine did what, 40 reps, which was
Are you allowed to comment on this?
40 reps
No.
at 135, and then afterwards, this is my favorite Billy moment by far. So he said before he got to the bench press, like, I'm gonna get 50 or die. Shoot me if I don't get 50. And then he went up there and he got 40. And then he got off. Billy is so good at making excuses. It's honest. They should study Billy's brain because he got off. And what do you think? What do you think Billy's excuse was for not getting enough reps at 135 pounds? Arian, do you have any idea?
What is his excuse, or what was his excuse?
Yeah, what was his excuse?
Oh, I think I remember. It was he would have done more if there was more weight on the bar.
Yeah, the weight was too light. It wasn't heavy enough.
Because look, hear me out.
I thought you couldn't talk about this.
I'm talking about this shit because that period's over. 135 is so light that it becomes cardio. You're going from explosive strength to cardio, like in the difference of muscle fibers.
Billy,
so like
shut your ass
I've been
up.
ripping 225 for 15. I did it recently. And I think I would have performed better than everybody else in 225 as opposed to 135.
So the guys that did well at the bench press, you had your Max Delentes, you had your
I beat Max by so much.
You had your Will Comptons, your John Feidelbergs. Those guys are pretty strong. They probably would have done pretty well at 225 too, right?
No, I knocked Max Delente out of the water. It's actually like embarrassing that at his weight he did 135 for that many reps.
How many reps did he have?
He had like 30
Okay, so you knocked him out of the water
by 10?
by
Yeah.
10? All right, so that's embarrassing for Max, you think?
I mean, because at that point, look, we're not talking about the combine. It's not gonna get anywhere.
Literally talking about this.
We're not gonna. We're just gonna move on.
You were told not to talk about the combine, then you started talking about the combine.
Then I was just getting mad again, and I did a lot of Zen to get out of the combine anger. We're good now. We're good.
I just love the weight was too light excuse. That was chef's kiss.
Wild.
Perfect.
It's
Wild.
sprinting versus marathon running.
Billy, in no world are you correct on this specific subject.
I think the science backs it up. It's it's white meat versus dark meat and chickens.
Do you think there are
And
people out
turkeys.
there that would be bad at
You
repping
talking
225 that could do 50 reps at 135? Because if you do 50 reps at 135, you're strong. You're fucking strong no matter what.
There's a lot of people who can do 50 reps at 135 and can't do that many reps at 225. But there's people who can do a lot of reps
That
at
would make
225.
sense because it's heavier.
Right. You guys aren't getting what I'm saying.
Way smarter than us, Billy. You're right.
There's people out there who will understand what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're
and-
probably stupid too. What you're saying is wild. What you're saying is I can't do as much at 135 as I can at 225.
Do you think Usain Bolt could win a marathon?
This is not a good argument.
It is. It is.
A better argument is can Usain Bolt win the 200 meters? That's a better argument.
No, because I think he's stronger at that. Could Usain Bolt win the 400 meters? Could he win the 1600 meters? I think that's a better argument.
I think
Even
he
then,
could win the
none of this
400.
matters because you're not an Olympic athlete. One,
I know, but we're just talking about combine stuff.
this is but to say
Didn't
that
that Jamaican
you can
relay
do
team, like,
better
set the
at
400 world record?
135.
At two,
I mean, at 225 than you can at 135.
I'm not saying I can do more
No.
reps.
Wait,
I'm
what are
not
you
saying I can
saying?
do. I'm saying that I could do more reps than other people can do reps of 225.
Oh, I don't even know we're arguing anymore. The goalpost has been.
The
It's on a whole
goalpost has
noth-
not been moved. I've
It's
been
on a
saying this the
whole
whole
other
time.
field now. It's on a whole other field.
Did you know that Usain Bolt has never run a mile in his life?
I find that hard to believe.
No,
I'm just saying.
He's said it multiple times. He's never run a mile.
He's
No need.
never ran a mile.
So there are people who can beat Usain Bolt in a mile, but not in 100 meters.
That's true. However, I think still being able to do 50 reps at 135 means you're pretty strong, and you would be able to do a lot of weight.
No one did 50 reps.
Did Will?
No, he did 45. I lost by 5,
Didn't
and he was
someone do,
doing
like-
half reps the whole time.
Didn't someone do like 62, or am I making that up?
At one point, we had Lorenzo Neal in the studio, and Lorenzo Neal, I think he did.
Fullback.
Yeah, I think he did
Yeah.
like 75 reps at 135, and then got just bored. But also, his body is like genetically made to do bench press. He's got short forearms. He's a stocky guy, and he's strong as fuck too, obviously. But yeah, he just kind of got bored doing it. He was like, okay, I think
I
I'm done.
remember Billy saying that I can do better at 225 than I can at 130. I remember that. If I'm misremembering that, I'll take that one on the chin.
Lorenzo
But I
Neal
remember him
definitely
saying
can
that.
do thousands at 225.
Thousands.
That was okay.
He probably could do 30 right now.
That's not,
I wouldn't doubt that at all.
Maybe probably 40.
Really funny, man.
But I'm just saying the proportion of what you can do at 225 to what you can do at 135 is
Billy's
different for
excuse of the
everybody.
week is brought to you by Sport Clips. Your hair might grow fast, but after going to Sport Clips haircut, you wish that it grew even faster. That's because Sport Clips has the best seats and hair. That may or may not be because they happen to be right in front of TVs playing sports all day, every day. We know that watching sports while getting a haircut sure beats watching your reflection get a haircut, which is why at Sport Clips every day is clippers and curveballs, high tops and Hail Marys, even waves and wickets if you're into that kind of thing. At Sport Clips, you can check in with pros in men's hair and totally check out with pure, uninterrupted relaxation. So yeah, come watch an endless stream of sports on TV while getting an awesome haircut. Sport Clips, it's a game changer. Check out Sport Clips. Best haircuts in men's haircuts and women's haircuts too. And they got TVs there. It's fantastic. You're going to love it. Sport Clips, it's a game changer. All right, Billy, let's dive into your sheet. What's on your sheet today? What are you the most fired up about?
Trump. No, that was the first thing on my sheet.
Who's back? Donald
back?
Trump. He's on he's getting put on the ballots, right? The Supreme
Unanimous.
Court 9-0 that Trump will be on the ballots.
It takes a lot to get the Supreme Court to go 9-0 these days.
It does. So I'm not surprised.
Well, no, it was the most flagrantly unconstitutional ruling maybe in the history of American jurisprudence.
Oh, that's a mouthful.
It's a fact.
What about Plessy versus Ferguson?
What about it?
You'd say that this was worse?
No, I said it was flagrantly unconstitutional.
The most. More so than Plessy versus Ferguson.
Anyway, continue.
That's the one about traveling and trains and slavery, right?
I believe that one was separate but equal.
Fuck.
Yeah. You might be thinking of the fugitive slave law. The Dred Scott case.
Brown versus Board of Ed is we should. I need to do this because I need to start. I've forgotten my Supreme Court cases. It's one of those things I used to know on the dot, but now I gotta.
Brown versus Board of Education overturned Plessy versus Ferguson, I believe.
Okay, so it upheld that state-mandated segregation laws did not. Okay, so it's a bad one.
Yeah, I should be more sharp on this if I'm going to take the bar exam. But yeah.
Yeah.
So Donald Trump back on the ballots. Is that question? Is that good for democracy or bad for democracy? Go.
Good. I mean, the funniest Trump article from this week was that Trump's White House was awash in speed and Xanax. So under Trump, the White House medical unit was like the Wild West, and staffers had access to everything.
Was it his doctor, the one with the long hair that you remember that dude?
I hope. I think there's not much difference between an NFL, the Washington Redskins team doctor that got arrested by the FBI and the White House team doctor.
Yeah, people forget that our facility got raided by the FBI like 3 years ago, and the DEA too, I think. But it sounds like I take some umbrage with the use of the term speed because we're talking about Adderall, right?
Modafinil.
What has happened? Say this again.
Apparently, they were throwing around meth in the White House, like Hunter Biden throws around coke currently in the White House.
Modafinil. I'm not familiar with that. With its game, what is modafinil?
I think it's a stimulant that really it runs your body pretty hard. I think it's the stuff they were giving Russian soldiers to stay warm in the winter, because it just naturally made your body run hot.
Okay, so kind of like Hitler. If you read that book Blitzed, which that's again one of my favorite books ever. Read the book Blitzed about Germany before World War II and Hitler during World War II and how much crank he was on, how many stimulants, like mixes of cocaine, speed, morphine, all this crazy shit. I was going to say, like, I would understand our world leaders being on a moderate amount of speed. You have to stay awake. You have to be alert a lot. But it seems like there's probably some diminishing returns.
Oh, okay. Actually, I'm wrong about my stimulants. I'm very sorry. It's more related to greenies in baseball.
Okay.
That drug I was talking about is a burner used by bodybuilders, which is different.
So it's not modafinil.
Modafinil is the proper name, but is not the one that the Russians were using. This one is like what baseball players were using before they started testing for doping, and they were used alongside greenies.
You should be allowed to use greenies. Yeah. I'm with
Well,
that.
they do.
It's funny, like talking to any baseball player that played in the 80s and asking them how great was the greenie coffee, because there would be 2 pots of coffee in every clubhouse. One would be normal coffee, and the other would be greenie coffee that they sprinkle some of these pills in. And some teams really overdid it with the greenies, and everyone would just shit themselves. But if you're playing a sport like baseball over a long-ass season, you need that greenie coffee to stay alert, to be locked in at the ballpark. So I say let the presidents have their greenie coffee. Maybe that's the issue, is like Joe Biden just doesn't get enough speed.
He probably does now. So what I was talking about was called DNP, which is dinitrophenol, which was used by the Russian soldiers to beat the Russian winter.
Mm-hmm.
So thank God the Germans didn't have them.
Thank God. Well, they had their speed. It was called Pervitin. And so they had a fuckload of it, which is why they were able to take over France so quickly, was because all their soldiers could be in tanks for days at a time and not need to take a break. And then once they started going east into Russia, the supply lines got thinned out and they couldn't get the shipments of Pervitin over to them. So you had a bunch of dudes, like probably 1 million soldiers on the Eastern Front, going through the harshest winter possible while also going through significant amphetamine withdrawal. And so they turned into zombies.
So then the dinitrophenol up Russians, it spikes their metabolic rate, which spiked energy and just makes your body run at like higher temperatures. Like you have a low grade fever and don't freeze.
I love that. Shout out the Russians in the wintertime.
So the Defense Department's Inspector General released a report saying that there was a whole bunch of access to. I can't wait till we get over this kind of shit. Like, who gives a fuck? You know what I mean? Like, why does this shit matter? On both sides. Who gives a shit? Who's sniffing what? Make good policies for the people, bro. Keep this fucking gossipy ass shit off my timeline.
Awash in speed. That's a hell of a headline right there.
We really need to change laws about government insider trading, because like raise their salaries and raise their penalties for insider trading. I don't care if they make $1 million a year. Like, it will create better governance and prevent market manipulation.
I'm with you on that, but like they don't need a big ass salary.
No, but if they have a big ass salary, then they'll be less likely to do fucked up shit.
Or just from like an outsider's perspective, we understand that insider trading is bad and we should just not have our elected officials.
They're all doing it, dude.
No, I agree with you, but like raising their salary, I don't think is going to incentivize these motherfuckers.
I think it helped with corruption in cops in certain areas.
Where?
I'm pretty sure New York.
You raise their salaries and there's no corruption?
Not no more corruption, but no more like selling stuff out of the evidence closet. I mean that's one example. I think there's tons of worse examples where it didn't work, but like I think if you raise their salaries and then you'd have more candidates who'd want to like get elected because it's a more sustainable lifestyle without being crooked.
I think if you want to raise anybody's salaries, teachers, bro, we need to raise our teachers' salaries.
Yeah.
Well, if you didn't raise salaries, you wouldn't get such great dancers on the NYPD dance team.
That shit may have been the worst video I've ever seen.
It was so funny. It was so funny. Bad. It's like, wait, they have a dance team?
That's just so bad, bro. Just being in that war room where that shit is okay, where that was okayed. I would love to be in that war room, though.
Dude, I have no idea who thought that was a good policy.
I go running near Gracie Mansion every morning, and seeing the protesters outside of Mayor Adams' office every time he said, like, remember that crazy video he put out related to the NYPD, and I think Mayor Adams okayed these dancers. So every time he does something hilarious, seeing the direct like protest like online coming to life outside of his mansion is hilarious. Like not all kids have drugs in their room. It's just like, who are these people? Why? Like
that video was so funny where he was like finding guns and shit inside like a copy of the Berenstein Bears.
Yeah. It's like, why do you keep going to Turkey?
Yeah.
It's wild.
I want to get an NYPD dance team T-shirt. Do you think they sell those?
I'm sure someone does.
Somebody has had to have made one.
We could, yeah. We definitely could. Arian, I had a very funny dream last night. I know nobody cares about dreams, but I just want to talk about this because it involved the show. It involved macrodosing. So last night I dreamed that we interviewed President Trump on macrodosing. And Arian, you loved the guy. You were eating out of the palm of his hand. And you were like, I love your healthcare plan, Mr. President. And then he's like, oh, really, Arian? Tell me what you love so much about my healthcare plan. You were just like, it's just maybe one of the best and most beautiful things this nation's ever seen. It was a fantastic interview, and it made me realize that, yeah, we should interview Donald Trump at some point.
I would absolutely do that.
You want to do it?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
I just want to compliment his health. So, Arian, you were effusive with your praise regarding two things. One was his healthcare plan, and the other was Infrastructure Week. You were like, I just want to say that you knocked that out of the park, sir. Thank you.
Such a detailed remembrance of your dream.
I woke up and I was like, I have to get Arian in the same room as Donald Trump.
The crazy thing about it is, like, I'm positive, like, aside from all his dumbass shit he says and his policies I disagree with, I don't think I would not like him. Because he's like a cool, funny, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's just like a cool little cat. But aside from all of the stupid shit he does, I don't think I could look past it.
Do you think he would enact policies that actively harm minorities?
What?
Do you think he would actively enforce policies that target minorities irrationally, like actually persecution?
It already has.
Such as?
Abortion.
I'll give you another one. He literally said that he would shut down all immigration from Muslim countries. Like, that being the reason why. Like, if it's a Muslim country, shut it down. Because of religion. And I'm pretty sure that the First Amendment says that you can't make any law discriminating against somebody by their religion.
Or was he discriminating against theocracies?
No, because he didn't say anything about Israel, which is a Jewish country.
Technically, that's not true.
Okay, well, he didn't say, I'm going to stop also Jewish countries. He said Muslim countries, where a lot of times their rulers are not actually ingrained with the church. So it's not a theocracy.
Okay, I that is the because when you say you don't like you think you wouldn't not like him in person, I'm just wondering, like, you know,
I'm saying probably. Like, I don't know, but like, just from the clips I see, he's funny and shit. But like, his policies, one, but two, like his interaction with people also. Like, I don't think he's very diplomatic in his personal relationships. I think he's like a average rich New York dude.
Honestly, I feel, and we spoke about this on last show on the guy. I don't necessarily think he's a good guy, and that the reason he does things isn't because he has a good heart. It's because he wants to be the best out of selfish and self-centered like yearnings. Like his motivations are completely self-centered and self-fulfilling. But because of that, in other people's eyes, to be a good president, you have to help certain people do certain things and move the country forward in a certain way. I think he will do the right thing to get admiration from everyone. Even though he's evil, narcissistic, and everything, that might take him, like, put this country in a better place because of this, like, self-centered, self-serving motivations. Is that a necessary evil?
I think
with Trump a necessary evil? Nah, bro.
I think with Trump, a lot of times he'll find somebody that likes him no matter what, and then he'll just be like, this guy knows what he's talking about. That's where he gets, like, his feedback. He'll fight, no matter what he said, he'll find a group of people that are like, great job, sir. And he'd be like, see, they all love me. He'll like find his positive reinforcement from somebody.
I can't, this is what bothers me about, like, Republican pundits, like, who are like our smart, like Ben Shapiro. Like, I don't think he's stupid, right? I think he's a smart man, right? But like, and I think he's had his critiques of Trump, but for people that bang for Trump, it bothers me when people seriously think that he understands policy on a deep level, foreign policy on a deep level, religious text on a deep level. Like, he may understand business, right? But as far as like legislatively, he has no clue what's going on, bro. And it's very apparent. It's very easy to see on a surface level. And so, like, I think that's what bothers me about Republicans that bang for him. It's like, just be honest about your candidate. Just be honest about this shit. Like, I'm voting for Joe Biden, not because I like Joe Biden or his policies, but I feel like he's better than Trump policy-wise, right? But like, people who bang for Trump is just like, they overly bang for the team rather than actually like admitting his flaws. And to me, that's where I think politics in this country, it just goes off the rails, because it becomes like there can't be any nuanced conversations about policy or fair wages, woo owners versus whatever. We can't have that conversation because it's my guy's good. And it's just not a good place to be in. If you just banging for teams rather than like, let's have a disagreement. Like, I have a bunch of disagreements with policy people on the left, and we can have those conversations. But I can't have conversations with anybody that is like a Trumpist, because it's just like my guy good. And it's like, well, we just can't have a conversation.
What do you think about banning political parties? George Washington never wanted political parties.
Down.
I think in theory it sounds good, but in practice it's like a fool's errand.
It's a non sequitur.
Well,
it's why Andrew Yang is like, to me, never took off, right? Because in theory, yeah, let's have a third party. But then when it comes down to actually having to vote or make policy or make legislation, you have to pick a side. Are you for or against abortion? Are you for or against gun laws? Are you for or against? Like, you have to pick a side, and those sides don't fit neatly into right and left, but they kind of do.
No, but polarization is a huge issue.
And that's the dude that you just said. He has polarized everything.
But if you had individuals, like, I think a lot of Republicans would, if they didn't have this forced tetherment to this individual, they'd be able to make their own decisions, and you'd probably have more nuanced discussions on policy like you seek, without this total red versus blue. We have to pick a side.
But I think, to Arian's point, I think people would naturally find their own way into parties, and they wouldn't necessarily like call them parties. I guess what would really be affected would be the fundraising arm and the apparatus around it, where it's like the DNC or the RNC. They can go out and collect all this money for their preferred candidate, and those are the two ones that have the biggest war chest behind them. But if you have polarizing candidates like Trump, there would be essentially a party that would form around him anyways. And so it'd just be like his team, which would be essentially like its own party.
But also, like, if you just look at the issues, right? Like, I could probably pin Big T's political ideology on several different topics, as well as he can pin mine. It's not, you're not gonna find somebody saying free Palestine that's against abortion. And if you do, that those are the fringe people, right? It's just a rare occurrence. Or, somebody who wants to raise taxes on the rich and wants to build a border wall. Like, those things, they don't coincide with people's worldviews. You may find it, but I'm saying they're new. That would be the fringe.
Well,
that would be the fringe.
But, like, for example, that is a huge voting population in the United States who, like, Irish Catholics have historically been pro-Palestine, anti-abortion, because of their association with the oppression of the British and the Palestinians' oppression by the Israeli government. And that's a huge contingent. And if they didn't have to pick party lines, they'd be able to communicate their.
They have to pick party lines. That's what I'm saying.
Why?
Like, because, all right, if you have a candidate that is representative, right, of a belief system, there's going to have there isn't necessarily a box for them to fit in. So what you're talking about is a niche category, like Catholic Irish people. I think you said it was.
Irish Catholics is one of the largest ethnic groups in the United States.
They don't. What's the percentage of them? What's the? Because I don't know this. You could be correct, but I doubt that they are one of the larger voting bases.
They're over 36 million American citizens, which is
So you mean it? 36 million Americans there's no way they have that same, or else they would. So many implications have to come from that. So what
Yeah.
you're saying is, they fit neatly in a box that says
They don't
They
fit
don't-
neatly. They don't fit neatly, but it was a classic sentiment that they're rare.
So, but that's what I'm saying. I think it is a fringe. I think that's a fringe belief system. Like it's rare that you have conflicting, or I would say opposing ideologies that one voting base believes. Like it's why, to me, that's why Andrew Yang never took off, because people who believe in, like, I would say, like the workers of the country and unionizing and stuff like that rarely are against things like abortion or things like, trying to limit immigration, stuff like that. Like, so, like, you have these conflicting ideologies that rarely intersect. I mean, and you have to pick a side one way or the other. And I don't see how another party's gonna be sexy. Like, I don't, or just pragmatic. Like, practically, how can it even work? I mean, I'm open. I just don't see I don't see it being like practical.
I mean, I think it would take a lot of money out of politics if they banned the two-party system.
I think if you take money out of politics, period, that will clean this shit up.
But the first step might be abolishing these large parties with super PACs and dictate people's alliances because
But
of
what does
funding.
that mean? What does that mean, banning parties?
It would probably be a lot like antitrust breakups.
You couldn't say, like, you're not allowed to be friends with these people and you're not allowed to vote with them all at once, but you could say, like, there can't be a central fundraising arm that people pay into and then it gets distributed amongst all the candidates.
So you're just getting rid of the RNC and DNC?
I think so, because anything past that, you can't tell people, oh, you're not allowed to vote alongside this person 95% of the time, because you could just happen to agree with that person 95% of the time.
Then you'll have people who might vote what they feel and believe as opposed to what their funders want them to do.
So how do you solve fundraising then? How do candidates get their names out there? Because then you'd run into a situation where maybe everyone that's running for office is independently wealthy and they're able to afford advertising, things like that.
Well, you know what?
That's where the bigger government side of me would say that should be a separate arm of the government that is government funded. Fund political candidates so that they don't have to raise money. Because correct me if I'm wrong, PFT, but the majority of the time that our Congress spends is fundraising. They don't even spend it on legislation, but the majority of their time they spend fundraising.
Yeah. That you get into office and then you have to worry about keeping the checks coming.
Yeah, they literally are on phones all day trying to fundraise. And so it's like, that should not be your point of focus when you're elected official. Your point of focus should be representing the people on a policy level, not figuring out how to get your next 4 years or whatever, 6 years taken care of. Like, it's the whole system is stupid.
It'd be like student government, where you get elected and then you serve 2 years and then you're never allowed to run again.
That shit would be fire.
I'd be okay with that. I guess there's an argument to be made about, like, learning how to become an effective legislator. Might take a couple years for you to really get to know the ropes, and new blood isn't always going to be the most efficient in terms of, like, actually getting shit done. But yeah, maybe just doing, like, you can work here for 4 years and then you're done.
But with the party thing, I'm hearing your argument, Billy, but I'm really curious as to, like, how it doesn't fall right back into left and right. You know what I mean? Like, so, like, the Irish Catholics, I think, would be.
By the way, let me talk that back. Irish Catholics definitely do not vote as a monolith anymore, but there are tons of Catholics who are Irish who are sympathetic to Irish Republican causes and are both fall in line with the OG church's views on abortion. I'm not lumping everyone together, but that is a voting group that could fall into that category.
I figured that, but do you hear what I'm saying about, like, how if you're against abortion, how the majority of people that are against, like, abortion, the majority of them have right-leaning worldviews, and that's just kind of how our brains work? Or do you feel like it's another factor?
Well, I think different spins on issues. Like, for example, there are anti-immigration spins that are inherently leftist, like the exploitation of the worker who is an illegal immigrant in the country is huge. Also, protecting native workers' rights is sort of a leftist ideal. And I think different angles will be taken on issues of how people actually believe. Like there's more people being trafficked around the United States right now than ever before. And a lot of them are illegal immigrants who then get exploited for labor, sex labor, multiple terrible things. And it's a lot of it's because we allow so many illegal immigrants to get in at the border and not properly put them through the proper channels because there is huge profit off their exploitation. So there is a leftist view to having stricter immigration, but everyone puts it on the right. I think every view of like things aren't inherently left or right. That's what I argue. I think free people who sort of look at politics as, left and right. I think that's inherently, you're robbing yourself of free thought. Like you are like for example, we should have injection
Every
sites.
time I hear that term, I just bells ring. Go ahead.
I mean, well, what do you mean? Like free thought isn't like not dictated by political skewing.
Free thought was like a moniker for like black Republicans exiting the Democratic Party.
Okay.
Like I'm a free thinker. It's just like Kanye carried that flag for a while. Like I'm a free thinker. Like, no, you're a fucking idiot.
I didn't mean that as a dog whistle. I just was saying like you can just freely think about an issue. Like, so for example, that's sort of my take on I do want more workers to legally come to the United States, and like, our country is founded on immigration, but there is that aspect that no one talks about when, we talk about the border, we talk about a lot of things because, there is a lot of money being made off of illegal immigrants coming to the United States by people, in higher up in society, like business owners who employ them, like the whole agricultural system that revolves in, North Central California.
I don't honestly, like, I don't know enough about immigration to speak on it, like, at all. Something I want to look into in the near future, but yeah, I mean, maybe you can be right. I just don't see how when you start to break it down, because like unless you're suggesting like instead of voting for like a president to represent, like you vote issue by issue, like that would probably make more sense, because I think if you get a candidate, their ideas are going to more often than not fall into the left or right category, and it's not necessarily binary. I would call it a spectrum. And so like Joe Biden for me is like middle left. I know to some people he's like super far left, which is just not the case. But that would actually be intriguing, voting on issue rather than electing a candidate.
The thing is, though, when you're voting on issue, you get a problem like in Colorado with wolves. So if you didn't know, they released a bunch of wolves into Colorado recently because a lot of people in metropolitan Denver in the popular vote basically said, yeah, release wolves into Colorado again. But then you had everyone who would have to deal with wolves, like in farms, like in rural areas, all voted no, because one, you're then going to end up with more wolves being killed by individuals who are protecting livestock. Wolves attack, and not just domestic livestock, but pets and sometimes children. So, the big bad wolf, still exists in rural areas, but in metropolitan areas that don't have to deal with the idea of, save the wolves. That's great. You need to have nuance to decision making.
So you're saying voting on issue on a federal level would be irresponsible because
right,
humans make the wrong decision?
Well, more that the same reason we have an electoral college, because you can't have the entire population vote on issues that only certain people are going to deal with. I mean, we can try to restructure the, how this country runs, but I don't think there'll ever be a right answer.
True.
But
I
it's
think
fun.
if we banned parties, people would just like form secret parties.
That's probably
they'll always lump up. That's what we do as humans. We group things together, people together.
But hopefully it allows people to make decisions like more independently, because there will be people who are outside of the club, and those people might find each other and form a new club. And hopefully there's more than two clubs, and we might have a little more range in opinion. I mean, outside of the United States, there are a lot of conservative and liberal like sides of parliaments, but there's more, parties, especially in certain European countries. But they usually have problematic small parties.
I don't know enough about that.
All right, good talk. Good talk. Getting to the bottom of the issues. Anybody teed off, beat off, ate off, made off?
Those names are forever funny to me.
Billy, you beat off?
I'm a little beat off.
What happened?
Francis spent 1,000 words in a blog just roasting me. And that's a lot of words. That means he cares.
That's a ton of words. What was he roasting you about?
Just, he doesn't like that I'm not afraid to challenge his opinion on certain things, because he sort of assumes that he is extremely like, it's just I see through the Harvard shtick, and he hates it. There's like several times, and it totally pisses him off when I prove him wrong on an issue. And
what's he actually upset about, Billy?
Look, if you read the thing, it's like he was telling me that my opinions on China's military capabilities are wrong, and it turned into a pissing contest, and he was blatantly wrong. And ever since then, he has just been absolutely infuriated by.
What are your opinions on China's military capabilities?
Well, it all stemmed back to the actually, which is kind of current, the Chinese balloon, I think last year.
Yeah.
So he was like, "Oh, China's like really developed, and they're gonna get us." And it's just like, dude, if you talk to anyone, PFT, who has the best fighter jets in the world?
Well, that depends on what type of fighter jet you're asking about.
We're talking about next gen
interceptor.
All of them. PFT, you know the answer.
I would take the United States aircraft over anyone else's in the world. There's a lot of confidential information that we don't have access to right now, but based on what we know, I would put us number one. There are some rumors that there's some better hypersonic missiles that other countries have, but we also don't know their true capabilities. I'll put it this way. You think the Su-57, the Su-57 that Russia's all about, the stealth thing, you think that plane's really badass? Well, riddle me this, riddle me that. How come we haven't seen any evidence of it being used in combat yet? Interesting, bitch. Also, it's not even really it's too big to be a stealth aircraft, you fuckers.
Also, they have no nuclear subs, and their ground infantry capabilities are probably pretty relative to Russia's, which we've seen have gotten, taken out time and again. And the first contact between U.S. military force and Russian infantry was probably when a Wagner group tried to attack a U.S. outpost in Syria, and we bombed them to the Stone Age. And Russia has been shitting their pants ever since about contacting U.S. installments in the Middle East since.
Also, we just found out that the Chinese rockets are filled with water.
Yeah. So he was. I called him out. I was like, "Nah, dude, China sucks. That's why they're sending fucking weather balloons to like photograph our stuff, because they don't know what we have. Whereas we're not sending balloons over there to see what they have, because our intelligence agencies are amazing." So he didn't like that. And now every time I try to conversate with him, he thinks I'm mansplaining to him. If you check out the yak from the other day, he was talking about sperm motility. And I was like, yeah, dude, I saw this article about how they're using robots to give immobile sperm tails. And you just saw him have a brain aneurysm, because Harvard guy's getting told knowledge that he doesn't know. But anyway, it's fine.
He's mad that you're so smart.
No, he's not mad that I'm smart. It's just that he projects so much intelligence, because maybe it's from an insecure place that he may have gone to an institution of higher learning and had a little imposter syndrome. So he felt that he needed to, project intelligence so that no one who might have intellectual curiosity, challenge his opinion. And I guess he's met his match, and it's really triggered him.
I would like to see a debate show between you and Francis.
I mean, look, in a four choice multiple
Destructive
choice test,
debates.
in a 4 multiple choice test, my process of elimination and intelligence skills kind of showed through above Francis in a recent combine. So, hey, if he wants to come at me for that, I mean, it's fine.
Billy, this is just my observations, regardless my own sport I play. You started this by saying he seemed a little obsessed with you. It kind of seems like you're also quite obsessed with him.
No, I just read what he wrote about me, and I was like, well, I'm gonna. This determines a response.
What's the blog name, bro?
Francis wrote about the Chicago office.
Wait, I read that. It was just about how you're like. I thought most
He
of that was just
dedicated-
about how you're intent. No, there was a lot about you, but it wasn't about like.
Did you? I
How
don't
you
think
feel
you
about
read it.
China? I thought it was a lot of just.
Wait,
about
you don't
how-
think he wrote it?
No.
He doesn't think I read it.
Oh.
I thought it was just a lot about your attitude and behaviors.
Is this it, Billy?
during the
Oh no, that's
combine.
Ben Mentz. Billy Football got my mind and body right for Pro Day Friday on the Yak. Ben Mentz has given you all the credit in the world, Billy.
Hey, that's a very intelligent guy who's very good at poker, and he's not afraid to portray himself as not intelligent because he knows he has innate intelligence in certain aspects, and that's usually how intelligence works. It
So
doesn't
did
really
you-
project in certain ways.
Did you you train Ben Mentz for Pro Day?
Yeah. I tried to get him ready for Clemmer. Clemmer came out on top. Didn't know we were training for Clemmer. I would have had some better strategies if we know Clemmer was coming out. Probably mostly like cracking sticks over his knee. But that's not what happened.
Okay, so to wrap things up here, Billy.
Come on, guys, I want to read this.
Yeah, Arian.
Have you read it,
Do an
Arian?
ad.
Did I
I'm
prompt the
looking.
response?
Arian, send to the group chat so that
it's,
so we can read it and we'll discuss what
I'll
Francis actually said.
I'll just read it. I'll just read it right now. It's not because it's like 3 or 4 paragraphs. It's not that much.
That's a lot.
1,000
You
words.
said 1,000 words, and it was all about Billy football. That's not true.
250 words is a paragraph, correct? So 3 or 4
You said
paragraphs is
you
around
said
1,000 words.
You said 1,000. This is not 1,000 words. Anyway, who cares? So it's like it says recap of the Chicago thing, and so he goes, Billy football is not all right. That's the title of his paragraph. He goes, this dude is an insane person. I realize this isn't exactly news to many of you, but my past personal interactions with Billy have been warm and amusing.
Compliment.
Compliment one. One time we slipped into a conversation about China's military capabilities and what, if anything, we might be able to do should they decide to attack Taiwan. It was a mistake. Billy turned into I've got more friends in the military than you do. Dick measuring
Sources.
contest.
I just
Apparently,
countered with
let me read the
sources.
blog, bro. Okay. Apparently, he moonlights as a Xeroxing aide at the Pentagon. Xeroxing, holy shit. Dock me. Xeroxing aide at the Pentagon, a building that was not, I'm told, struck by a plane on September 11th. Word, really?
Never said that.
From that point, I learned to keep our topics in the range of pre-workout scoop size and the superiority of NESCAC athletics to the Ivy League. Better to keep
NESCAC athletics versus the Ivy League.
There you go. Better to keep the bear happy. On Monday, as we waited for the evening quiz portion of the combine, this might be 1,000 words. We waited for the evening quiz portion of the combine. A 4-on-4 pickup basketball game was organized. We struggled to figure out teams because, in general, we whites overestimate our pickup prowess, but want to feign good sportsmanship. This combo of ego and fake fairness tends to prolong the team picking process to a point where our muscles grow cold, which leads to higher injuries than you'd find in a more diverse game. Lots of we need to split me and Tom up, and it's not really fair to those who are on the same team. Bullshit. I simply said I wanted to play on the same team as Billy because I feared the bodily harm would inevitably befall me, where I find myself boxing out the elbow lashing, orbital bone breaking, conspiracy theory guided range toddler known as Billy Football. This is pretty good writing. You know, turns out it doesn't matter if you're on his team or not. He hates everybody on the court equally. Everyone is an opponent, a threat. If you're his teammate, your mistakes are an insertion on his path to victory. He started coaching me, which was a bizarre thing to experience as an adult. Stay in front of him. He condescended after I was picked by one of their big guys, yelled switch, and Billy didn't switch. What's more, he's the guy who checks the ball and then jacks a 3 instead of inbounding to a teammate. We lost 11-0.
That isn't true. That isn't true.
Where's this footage?
Let's get the footage.
In the combine, the producers asked me if I'd managed the vertical test for Heat 2. Having done it in the morning session, Billy went somewhere towards the end. It may seem hard to believe, but nobody else had a problem not toppling the pole. Who swings like that? That's how you remove a wasp from the nest. That's how you remove a wasp nest from the Alpha Delta Phi patio to impress the rush chair. Billy then blamed me for his poor vertical numbers, saying my inability to prevent the thing from falling had cost him scores. The wiring of his brain is either completely tangled and short-circuiting in real time or was incorrectly installed from the start. A wonder to behold. Still, I'm fond of him. He's aware of his tendency toward extreme behavior, and he'll often tell me we should hang out away from all this sometime, or I'll find that he's pretty normal, actually. I look forward to it, Billy. That shit's funny, dog.
Doesn't sound like anything the rest of us haven't said.
But to wrap up why Billy thought that Francis hated him was because Francis was jealous of the fact that Billy knew so much more than him about certain words.
He had military sources.
Yeah.
No. More, some of that stuff just didn't happen. And I'm tired of just getting like people just lying about stuff I do. I'm tired. This what
started the last one, Billy.
Ironic.
Watch. You know what I'm saying?
Also, the word count was 526, not 1,000.
Okay. Sorry.
Would you like to apologize to Francis for lying about him?
No, because I was using hyperbole.
The last 30 seconds was a fascinating twist and turn down the tunnels, the barely lit tunnels that run through Billy's, like, from ear to ear.
Well, he just lied about my basketball game, and he was getting burnt the whole game. And he called switch when he was getting absolutely roasted. And now it's my fault for saying, like, trying to use lacrosse terminology to help him play basketball.
But
it's the irony of Billy football's undoing his basketball.
I'm releasing another highlight tape. I'm done.
No, you've been banned. Banned.
No. We undid the ban. Remember, we undid the ban
from highlights.
From highlights, yes. I'm releasing another one right now.
Did y'all really
one in the chamber?
I had one in the chamber. I filmed one yesterday. Maybe that's the whole reason I brought up this beat off. But hey, we're releasing another one. It's going.
We are
going
not.
out.
You are. Yeah.
No, me and my people and my team.
Billy basketball.
It's coming out. It's dropping.
I really think that you and Francis should do a show together.
That would be funny.
Just debating just the military or anything really. The economy.
It would be good.
What did he go to Harvard for?
Lacrosse. It's just I know so many dudes like Francis that they go to Harvard, then they like try to put on this, Harvard man mystique because it's
he's
it's
a nepo baby. You say he's a nepo baby?
No. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that like a lot of guys, they go to Harvard, they're like, holy shit, I'm in Harvard because I'm good at a sport and I'm do decent on standardized testing and I'm got good grades. And then they're there and they realize like, holy shit, like, do I really deserve to be here? And then they put on a whole, like, I'm a Harvard man. I've seen it to like 3 of my friends who went there, more like teammates who I then met after. And it was like, oh shit.
What's their names?
I'm not going to say their names out loud because they don't need to be put on blast like that. But you
It's
can
one of
see
his
their
military sources.
LinkedIns and you're like, that's not who you really are, dude.
Do you think hypothetically anybody would look at somebody else who was good at sports that may have tested well on something, gone to a good school, and been like, that's not who you really are? Just anybody else.
No, absolutely. But I wouldn't. But is that who I really am?
It's no.
Do I try to demean other people and act superior to other people, or do I come off as real and someone with flaws and someone that likes deep conversation and intellectual subjects, but likes to goof around?
Likes to goof around would be what I would lead with.
That whole spiel, that was a dating profile. Like,
Billy's kind of the best of both
Serious
worlds.
yet playful.
Long walks on the beach.
Yeah.
very well educated, but doesn't hold that over you.
Right.
But also down to earth.
I mean, there's a reason why Ebony loves me and Ebony hates Francis, and it's literally how I treat people.
I like this. Stir the pot up a little bit. Sounds
the
like
good news is this blog didn't affect you, clearly.
Right.
What about Billy versus Francis, rough and rowdy? How about that?
I would 100% do that. 100%.
Oh gosh.
He wouldn't
Billy
do it
would
though,
fight
'cause
a toddler in rough and rowdy if you offered it
It's
to him.
it's below him. It's below him.
Fisticuffs is beneath the Harvard gentleman.
Oh yes.
Y'all should have a foreign policy debate.
We should
Right.
do
Presidential
Actually, no.
debates.
Chess isn't my forte.
We'll fact check it live, and whoever's wrong, he gets to slap the other person.
No, just a round.
All right. Anything else we want to get into? Billy, anything else on the list?
We got a draft prospect that doesn't believe in space. And
Oh,
Big
yeah.
T's thinking
No, kinda
thinks space is
based.
fake.
Kind of based.
Let's talk. I think that the guy's lying so that he can get a free trip to space.
We should
Because
re-release-
if you're public enough with denying the existence of space, somebody from NASA will reach out to you and be like, "We'll show you. We'll put you on a rocket ship and take you up to outer space."
I think he's trying to show teams like
That's
all
the
I
case.
think about is ball. I don't think about anything else.
Yeah.
I don't know what space is. I don't think it exists.
Mhm.
I'm a lockdown DB. That's all I think about.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's huge. If you don't believe in space, I mean, unless you're running pump and run, but
No facts. Yeah, no space.
no
Like
space.
the dumber you are about things off the field, the more some coaches will be like, "I like this guy."
No, for sure.
Yeah.
Like when guys are like, yeah, I actually enjoy a lot of things other than football. Teams are like red flag.
Yeah. Josh Rosen.
Well,
He's too well rounded of a human being.
well, that one they were correct, but like I don't know who's a when Kirk Cousins was like, yeah, I take Tuesdays off to be with my family. Like I don't go into the building, I don't do anything. There were people who were like, that's a bad quarterback.
Yeah, I want a psycho. I want Tom Brady. I want a guy that will divorce his Brazilian supermodel wife so that he can come back one more year and play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I want a guy that only thinks about that is the least well-adjusted person of all time.
I think that is a real thing though.
Yeah.
It is. Even like on lower levels.
Oh, so I just watched it. He's a flat earther.
Yeah, so then he said the flat earth people make some good points. He talked for too long, but
Yeah.
if he had cut it off after 10 or 15 seconds, he was low-key based.
Yeah, that means he doesn't know. That means he knows about flat Earth, which means he knows things besides football.
I liked it when he said the flat earthers make some very valid points.
Yeah.
I want to know what valid means in his mind and what points specifically he's referring to. I think he just said like, I have a YouTube account. And that's what that translated to me.
Dude, the
I
ice
could
wall.
already tell you his valid points. I could already tell you. Yep, he'll go to that. He'll say, there's a North Atlantic Treaty. What is it, North Atlantic Treaty?
NATO.
Yeah. No, but nobody's ever been there. Nobody's ever been there. Water always finds its level. PFT.
Yep.
What else would they say?
So water finds its level because we're on a flat surface. Is that what he's saying?
Yeah, water will always level because it's a flat surface. Oh, they'll say a NASA has been admittedly doctoring photos of Earth, CGI generated. They admit it.
These are all valid points. Yeah.
Dude,
Valid point.
I like when they bring that Antarctic expedition with the general post World War II. That's when it gets wild. That's when it's like, yo, you're telling me a bunch of U.S. Army dudes went down there and they may have gone behind the ice wall and no one knows what happened. What's that called?
So what is the ice wall? I'm not familiar with the ice wall.
All right, so if you look at, let's see, I think it's NATO. Is it NATO's logo?
No, it's the
What is
United
that?
Nations.
The UN?
Yeah, United Nations logo. There you go. So the United Nations logo is, if you just Google it real quick, PFT,
Mhm.
you'll see that is the flat Earth's map. That is their model of what they feel like the map is. And so it's all the Earth's landmass with ocean around it and then surrounded by a gigantic ice wall, which would be, I think, Antarctica.
Yeah.
And so their claim is Antarctica is a big ring around the entire Earth's mass.
Okay.
And once you get to the ice wall, that's where the treaty happens, where nobody is allowed to explore it over there, and nobody's ever been past the ice wall. That's what they say.
So then Admiral Byrd, after World War II, found the ice wall and went beyond the ice wall and found like crazy ancient advanced civilizations. And that's where the Nazis escaped to. And the reason this ice wall exists and we made a treaty not to go outside of the ice wall is because there's undiscovered lands that people could like discover a new world and live freely like America was supposed to be. But they're just keeping us all trapped here so we don't escape. So we have to work
So
for other
Billy's
people.
way down the rabbit hole. The majority of them like that. I mean, I think that's where it splits off, right? That's where you can go anywhere, right? That's one of them. The majority of them, though, believe that the government is trying to detour us from the fact that God is real. And so it's very based in the Bible, and some of the passages in the Bible say that the earth is flat. And so that's the majority that I've seen. That's what it goes down to. But there's like, it has tentacles, man. You can go anywhere. Earth is flat. You can go anywhere. Like shit gets wild.
Then there's Hollow Earth, which is
You believe in this one. You keep
no. The Hollow Earth one, the Earth isn't flat. The Earth is round, but there's just entrances to the Hollow Earth in Antarctica, and that's what they really found, and that's where the UFOs are. Which
you believe.
Which PFT was giving merit to the interdimensional travel the other day.
Yeah, I'm into that.
Yeah,
that happens. That shit happens.
Interdimensional sounds way crazier than if there was a hollow Earth or a cavern that had like people who'd been avoiding the surface and mass extinction events for millions of years. Not reptilians, maybe humans who like survived mass extinction events by living underneath the ice and like not in like a hollow Earth, like it's a.
Don't tell me that my theory sounds way more implausible. This is counterintelligence officer Billy with all this military
interdimensional travel.
All of Billy's military friends are like, PFT's getting too close to the truth, Billy. Guess what? When you're taking flak, that means you're over all the right targets, Billy. Dude. And I can hear you trying to slam my truth-seeking quest and figuring out exactly how right Tom DeLonge is regarding interdimensional alien travel.
Interdimensional is impossible. What is possible is you could have people living underneath the oceans in Antarctica,
literally
avoiding mass extinction events by using advanced technology. It could happen.
Yo, that last little caveat you threw in there is fucking hilarious.
Advanced technology.
By using advanced technology
that you don't know about yet.
Advanced technology could just be nuclear reactors that they use more. Use more because they like aren't as scared of nuclear power and it's more freely used. Like that could power like a oxygenizing a dome or like, creating like powering enough stuff to like have something underneath the ground.
What's more likely, a group of like aliens living in this giant bubble powered by nuclear reactors underneath the ocean, or the fact that there's a space-time continuum that the military has figured out how to crack? It's actually I don't know the answer to that question because they're both crazy.
I think they're both pretty fucking
but at least mine is like tangible. Yours is just like
really? What about all the evidence of the military aircrafts that have footage of these weird UFOs flying around everywhere?
I think that they come from underneath the ice. I don't think they come from another dimension like an idiot.
Yeah, they both kind of wild. I ain't gonna lie. But the space-time continuum is, I guess, more possible scientifically. Like, I don't know about interdimensionally, but like traveling is theoretically possible. Theoretically, I don't know that it's possible to have a hollow thing dug out in the earth. I don't know that the physics work out like that.
I mean, not hollow is in like a cavern, not like the entire earth is hollow, like it's an eggshell without egg yolk in the middle. Like I'm talking like if the earth was a bowling ball, Mount Everest would be the size of half a grain of salt. So if you had a Mount Everest sized cavern that housed a whole city, inside the earth that's like a giant cave system or just a giant like mined out area, it would be hard to find. Like if it was in places like deep in the ocean, which we know more about space than we know about the ocean. Probabilities, man.
I actually don't think that's true. I've heard people say that before.
I hate that.
I don't think it's true.
About the ocean?
I don't think we know shit about space.
We don't know shit about the ocean.
I know, but I don't think it's right to say.
I
that
think
we
it's
know
not
more
space.
about space.
I think it's our solar system.
Maybe
that could be true because we don't know a lot about the ocean. That's for sure.
Like we know more about the moon.
I say we leave that shit alone.
Yeah, because then you might find the people living there who have been living there for longer than we have recorded civilization, and they're on a different level, and they're flying around us, just making sure we don't blow up the place.
Fuck it, go check it out.
Let it be.
I mean, why do you think those people in the submarine disappeared?
Because they're stupid.
Because they were in a thing the size of this desk controlled by a Logitech Xbox controller and tried to go to the Titanic.
I'm just saying, why do you think the Titanic's down there? What do you think they all found? No, now I'm getting crazy.
Now you're getting crazy.
You need to rebrand your hollow earth theory. It's not hollow. It's you think that there's a cave.
Yeah, cave. Civilization, like advanced civilization in a cave.
I believe in
Atlantis.
cave.
You believe in cave? Watch
Atlantis.
cave be true. When
So I am
cave is
Adolf
found
about
true,
something.
they're going to be like, oh, like there was one podcaster who really popularized the cave theory, the cave term, and it was me.
And then Francis is going to have a stroke.
Yeah.
I am
fucking
Adolf about
asshole.
something. All right, so I don't know if y'all saw me. You've seen me wear glasses before, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so it wasn't until recent that I actually got a prescription. I wore blue light glasses a lot, right? Because they help with your eyes. I recently got glasses that are prescription. These are prescription, right? Because I developed astigmatism, and so I didn't know how bad my eyes were until I put my glasses on, and I could see everything so clearly. But what they don't tell you about glasses, for somebody who never had to wear glasses before, is like the shit behind your ears. That shit hurts.
Yeah.
That is painful. And like, it's why I keep taking my glasses. This shit hurts. Like, and it doesn't matter if I have a do-rag, headphones, no matter what. If I'm just wearing my glasses with nothing on, that shit hurts, dog. And they don't tell you about this aspect of glasses, which I had to find out by myself that. And I asked somebody that I know that who used to wear glasses all the time. They're like, oh yeah, it just kind of is what it is. I'm like, what do you mean? There's been nothing?
Yeah.
Have you considered being built different?
Yeah.
Out my wheelhouse.
Have you thought about not being a nerd?
I ran a 4.7. It is what it is.
That's facts.
Yeah, it sucks, right? Especially when you have like headphones on.
Yeah.
And it presses your ears against the back of your glasses. There should be.
But even if it doesn't, though, like if I just got them on, it hurts. And she was like, maybe they could be a little tight, but like mine weren't, and it just hurts after a while. It is what it is. And I'm like, what the fuck do you mean it is what it is? This is crazy.
Yeah, I think you just haven't built up the years and years of strength that your ears need if you're gonna put some shades on or some frames.
If anybody got some tips, cuz I'm open.
I do want to hear tips about that. I bet you experienced glasses wearers have something to say about that.
Yeah, at me, dog. This you can at me. All the other bullshit, I don't care about your opinion, but at me. At me. Tell me how to figure out this shit.
Billy, I reached out to Francis and I said I need to have you and Billy debate each other at some point about any subject. Do you want to know what his reply was?
Probably absolutely not.
He said, our health insurance isn't strong enough for me to put my family in that jeopardy.
Yeah, because he knows. He knows I know. He knows I know. I'm in his head.
All right, we'll set this up. We'll have
honestly,
Francis.
why don't we let's just cut that whole thing. We can talk about debating Francis, but like not that I'll debate
You're
Francis,
the one that brought it up.
Yeah, but now talking through it, I'm like, okay, I was a little more wound up than I should have been. But I will. Like I said, really hurtful things.
I don't want to have Maddie or Mac go through this, but it would be so funny to just have a compilation of Billy going, can we just cut that? He do
And
this
him
shit.
going
20-minute long discussion.
Yeah.
him going, he just snaps.
Yeah.
Can we just
I'll do it. I know how to cut stuff. See me cut that highlight tape?
No,
Wait till the
Billy,
next one comes
I
out.
Hey,
thi-
Billy, all you. Go for it.
I think we leave that in. We also leave this in disclaimer where you're like, I got a little wound up about things.
Okay. I mean, we're going to war with Son of a Boy Dad again, I guess, or just me.
Yeah, that's just you. I have no
Yeah,
issue
no.
with Son of a Boy
I
Dad.
didn't know about this. What happened?
We beefed with Son of a Boy Dad when
Like
they started
3 years
recording.
Yeah,
ago.
I recall that. What is the reference to again?
Francis is
does
on Son of a Boy Dad now.
Since when?
Recently.
Oh, well, you learn something every day.
Now, ooh.
So yeah, Billy, I think we just have to do a show. You versus Francis. Who's smarter?
Smarter than 5th grade.
Yeah.
Question.
Harvard grad versus
Billy.
where'd you go to school?
Williams grad.
Basically
grad versus
Harvard.
Williams. Let's settle the age old debate. Whose institution is better?
All right, yeah, I'm gonna work this out. I'm gonna find a way to have this work out. But that'll be it for nanodosing today.
Watch next episode of Last Chance Uganda. We're about to play Kenya. It's gonna be awesome. A lot more accents. A lot
Beat
more.
Kenya.
It works, but it didn't at the end.
Yeah, it doesn't actually work at all.
Well, you know what? What we
His heart was in the
accomplished-
right place.
We accomplished a lot. I'll tell you, like, actually, these guys played a full functional game of football by the end of, like, installing a full offense and a full defense, and they have it, like, it's going to be the basis of a lot more growth schematically there. Because
yeah, I'm very much looking forward to it. It's been a great series, and I know some of what happens, and I'm excited to watch it. It's definitely go out and check it out. If you're on the fence, if you love or hate Billy, no matter what, watch this. It's really good, and it's got Billy and Donnie, which is dynamic duo, great situation, heartwarming story, cool guys over there. So check it out. One last thing though. So we got to figure out what our topic's going to be when we record on Wednesday for Thursday's show. I believe now we've got 3 research papers that have been done.
Did you
on
purposely
topics.
send the wrong thing?
No.
Did you see? Yeah. Did you see our text message?
What'd I send?
You sent some notes.
You sent your notes for the Greenlight podcast
Oh, okay.
about your funny ways to die.
Oh yeah. When he asked me to like come up with.
Yeah.
reason-
Instead of our notes.
Okay, so that was a mistake. I should not have done that.
You did. I tagged you and said, "What the fuck is this, dog?"
Okay, I should not have done that. So what we do have now is I think 3 topics. We have free energy.
Can we do free energy? Because I have a lot of prep for that.
Is everybody else down for free
It
energy?
is cool. It is cool.
So we
Free
could-
energy, not as in thermonuclear free energy, the concept, which if you Google it, that's what comes up. But like the idea of having renewable energy sources that aren't like
Okay.
what the fossil fuel companies are trying to destroy and hide from humanity.
All right, so we could do this a couple different ways. We can do that episode, but maybe we could do that as just like a Monday episode too, if we wanted to get another topic. Because we are behind. We've got all this research out there. So we need to cover that at some point. So maybe, I don't know, do you want to do free energy on Wednesday? And then, Arian, you were into a topic recently, right?
Oh yeah, fluoride. Fluoride's a big thing that's going around, so I kind of want to dig into that.
Okay, so let's do free energy on Wednesday's episode coming out Thursday. And then we'll do fluoride for next week.
Oh, if you're hyped about fluoride right now, I can get hyped for fluoride.
All right, fine. Fluoride, executive decision. Fluoride, that show's going to come out on Thursday, and then we'll talk about free energy on next Tuesday's show.
If
Okay?
they really cared about our health, they put creatine in the water more than fluoride. Just saying.
Or meth.
That'll be good.
All right. Well, we will see you guys on Thursday. Love you guys.